I want to do a little bit of an experiment with you today. I just received some amazing feedback from a dear friend of mine. His name is Dale Smith. I spoke about Dale several months ago in my vlog here on YouTube, where I talked about the fact that I was going to be mentored by a man who was voted the most powerful communicator in the world, at least by the standards of Toastmasters. And I think that was like 1962 or something like that, or 1969, something. And then, of course, the couple years later, he came in second place. Anyway, I met Dale Smith a couple months ago, and I have been blessed by knowing him since. I'm honored to call him a friend. And he recently sent me a document providing me with some feedback as it relates to my communication skills. And I have never felt so valued and honored the way that I felt that from his communication, from the way that he shared his evaluation of my ability to communicate to an audience. Not just on a stage like Free the Dream, where I spoke 7 different times, but also through the audio content that I create for my various podcasts, the content that I create here for my YouTube channel, like this one right now, and also various interviews where I've been a guest on other people's podcasts. And as a result of the praise that I got, the evaluation, thank you, Dale Smith, for your words. But because of the words that he shared, I was inspired to come and create this video for you right now. And the thing is that, first of all, this is a repeated phrase that I want to eliminate from my, what do you call it? I need to come up with a name for it. But it's a repeated phrase. There are 3 repeated phrases that my friend, okay, let me just stop for just a moment. I'm gonna pause. Okay, I wanna slow down. I took the document that Dale Smith sent to me and I transcribed much of what he said into my Free the Dream embossed journal that I have here. Anyway, oh, by the way, you want to know where you get those Free the Dream embossed journals, don't you? Maybe someday I'll come back and tell you. But Free the Dream 2020 might be an invite-only event, but that's not the purpose of this video. But big changes are coming to Free the Dream 2020. That's all I'm gonna say for right now. Anyway, in my Free the Dream journal, I transcribed so much, or everything that he had as far as feedback for me, all the praise and stuff like that, which gave me all those good feelings, right? And I loved Dale's ability to provide criticism and critique in the most powerful, loving way. It's awesome. And I loved his phrase for this. He says, where you do need some awareness. What a great gift. What a great gift. Here are some areas where you do need some awareness. Repeated phrases. Here are the ones that I noticed. The thing is, quite frankly, the reality is, and he didn't put this one in here, but I added a 4th, actually. One of the things that he praised me for is the fact that he says, listen, how did he phrase this? He said to me, either you are so interesting or effective that either I don't catch the verbal clues or you don't have them. Either way, it's an exceptional accomplishment. So he's talking about the fact that when he's listening to me, even though he's listening for verbal tics, he doesn't hear a lot of he doesn't hear those. Now I know, because I do a bit of content production, both video and in audio. I do a significant amount of editing. About 50 to 70% of the things that I create, I edit. And by the way, I'm going to speak to Dale for just a moment. Dale, a little follow-up here. If you are evaluating some of my most recent content, or even some of my older content, and you're like, man, this guy has no ums. Okay, in all fairness, some of that could have been edited out, but it's the fact that I'm so aware that I have that. When I do the editing, I'm like, this makes this so difficult. Why don't I just slow down, become more comfortable with silence so that I don't have any ums? By the way, this video, I'm 6 minutes and 10 seconds into the video. I share that with you because now, if you're watching this, then you can look right now. Go ahead, look right now. You tap on the screen and let YouTube or Facebook or whatever, and you will see I'm currently right now 6 minutes and 30 seconds into this video. And if that matched up and that was true, that means nothing has been edited. So now you can go all the way back to the beginning of this video and see if the first 6 minutes and 30 seconds, if it was filled with any ums or ahs or verbal tics of that nature. But one thing that I admitted to Dale is that repeated phrases. I think that I do have verbal tics. And my verbal tics are the repeated phrases. The thing is that is a verbal tic for me. It's me using that frame, it's me using that phrase as a filler for the next thing I'm thinking of saying next, because it's so easy for me to do that. Quite frankly, that's what I want to tell you. Or the reality is, actually, I think is a verbal tic. The thing is a verbal tic. Quite frankly, and the reality is are not verbal tics. Now that I evaluate this, I see, quite frankly, and the reality is, as being lazy. They're easy go-to phrases that will fit a ton of different things that I want to say. And it means that I'm too lazy to slow down, think about what I'm going to say next, and come up with a unique phrase that would fit that thought more appropriately. And that would not become distracting, because I've said the reality is, quite frankly, and all of these other things so darn repeatedly in a very short, brief period of time. So, repeated phrases is an area where I need awareness. Quite frankly, I was already aware of that, but it is something that I am now aware that needs to be corrected, that must be corrected. I must eliminate my habitual repeated phrases of, quite frankly, the reality is, the thing is, and actually. Because what's at stake if I don't is my ability to communicate powerful messages to people without distracting them. Let me rephrase that. What's at stake is my ability to reach you with what God has put on my heart to share with you today, without distracting you by my laziness. Which leads me to the next area of awareness. He wants me to keep working on talking to one person in the audience with the personalized you when appropriate, as contrasted with the all-encompassing phrase such as all of you or many of you. And this one is more challenging to me because right now I realize I am communicating with you in this moment. Just you and I. Perhaps. But I also realize that you and I are not the only ones here. There's a very real expectation that I'm communicating to you personally, but also to a few hundred other people. And who knows, this video may one day reach thousands. And each and every one of you are important to me. However, I need to reconcile the value of bringing it down to just you and I. When I know that I'm not exactly sure who you are, and that freaks me out to say that because I hate to admit the fact that unless you reach out to me and say, Cliff, I watched that video and I thank you for communicating to me in it, then I don't know that you are watching it. I just know that a few hundred people, maybe at some point a few thousand. Who knows, maybe one day a video like this may go viral and it may be the first time I'm speaking to millions of you out there. I'm working on that one. Dale, thank you for bringing those two things to my awareness. And thank you for the gift of your feedback. And more importantly, thank you for the gift of your friendship. And thank you for the gift of your life and the way that you have lived it, the way that you continue to live it, that inspires me, that motivates me to be all that God created me to be as a communicator, as a man, as a husband, as a father, as a friend. Thank you, Dale Smith. And thank you for watching this video. Until next time, I encourage you to take everything you do to the next level.